reactive to conditions. Because when you're reacting to conditions, you're not in your power. You're not in concert with your inner being. You're not utilizing the energy that creates worlds. You're out there on the raw and ragged edge. You are a paltry, puny piece of yourself trying to make things happen. Did we do a good sales job? Don't you want to plug in first and then get into the receptive mode and then? Don't you never want to talk about a relationship again? Don't you just want to tune in to who you are and just let the universe deliver to you exactly what you want? Don't you want to feel the satisfaction as you are surprised and delighted with things from people that are in your life or new people that are coming into your life? Don't you know that satisfying feeling of, as it's manifesting, recognizing that it was in the vortex and now you must be in that right place that is allowing it out for you to experience? So, do you know that you are the creator of your own experience? Yes, you do. Do you know that you live in a vibrational universe? Yes, you do. Do you know that everything that you want is a vibrational reality? And do you know it's accessible to you now? And do you know how to access it? Get happy about anything. You know how to hold it off? Focus upon the things that are missing. Try to figure out how to make them happen. Take score of how long it's taking. Notice the other people that have the things that you want that you don't have. Keep adding more engines on the resistance end of the chain. Complain about what's not happening. Notice the now. Go to bed, wake up and notice the now. Go to bed, wake up and notice the now. Go to bed, wake up and notice the now. Go to bed, wake up and notice the now. Something's got to change. Enough?
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you.
Okay, so good news, guys. I'm going to be very brief. I just found the way to get in the hot seat.
Don't tell them.
I'm telling myself and them.
It's all right.
I focused on my cute dog. And I have a picture to show. Can you zoom in? It doesn't? Yeah. That's my cute dog. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Thank you.
All those words that we've been offering, all this waving around of arms and explaining of all of that, and he just showed you what it's all about, yes? Yes? Standing on your chair does not help. You know how we are finding you? Your desire has energy moving through you, and your calmness about it has you lighting up brighter. So if you have a strong desire and a lot of urgency, we don't see you as clearly. If you have strong desire and no urgency, then you light right up. You see what we're getting at? So if you feel urgency, take a deep breath. Right here, yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
No joke, I was just focusing on my dog.
Powerful, isn't it?
So good, thank you.
Because, but let's take a moment and talk about why. Because little resistance there, is there? In other words, that's something that when you focus upon, you open right to, in other words, you are in absolute agreement with your inner being about your dog. How many things do you think that you are in absolute agreement with your inner being about? Are you in absolute agreement with your inner being about your worthiness? Are you in absolute agreement with your inner being about your value or your intelligence or about the wonderful things that are coming to you? You see what we're getting at? The things that you think so much about in opposition to what you really desire keep you out of alignment. But when you have something like that, that there's almost no resistance about. Now, everyone doesn't feel that way about their dog. But if you do, that or anything, it is a very good tool, as you have all demonstrated, for coming into alignment. Yes. Enough?
No. I want more. I'm so loving it here, and I'm loving all of us, and I'm loving my expansion.
Yeah.
And I have so much reverence for my contrast because it's always taking me exactly where I need to go.
Reverence and appreciation.
And appreciation.
That's step 5, knowing its value.
My question is about fine-tuning my experience within step 5. And
You remember step 5? That's where you're back in step 1, but you're not mad at yourself for being back in step 1. Because you know the value of the contrast. You know it's going to lead to something meaningful.
I feel like my most powerful qualities have been born out of my most intense contrast.
Well, your vortex is certainly filled because of your contrast. And the more intense it is, then the stronger the desire is in the vortex, yes?
And I'm realizing now I don't have to let the contrast get so big to get what I want.
Perfectly said.
And
I realize that it doesn't matter if it does.
And it doesn't matter if it does.
In other words, I can control it a little more as time goes on.
Yes.
In other words, it can be big and I still benefit, or it can grow gradually and I still benefit. It's all good.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And I'm wanting to fine-tune my experience within my step 5 because I don't find that I beat myself up about it so much anymore. I see the clarity, and I'm wanting to play with getting more specific with that clarity. I get going general, and I love knowing that I don't have to do anything. It's all in my vortex.
Well, let's stop. Before we get too involved in step 5, let's just revisit what step 1 is and what its value is. So step 5 means you're back in step 1, only you're understanding it this time and you're not mad at yourself. So now you understand the whole process. And so what's step 1 again?
Asking.
Step 1 is asking. And so let's say that step 5 is asking for something even more about something that you've asked for before. In other words,
Yes.
Now you've settled into it, maybe you want more from it.
Yes.
In other words, isn't that what expansion is? Isn't that what evolution is?
Yes.
Isn't that what the evolution of all species is? Isn't that what puts the eternalness in eternity?
Yes.
So
And
we are acknowledging the value of step 1. So can you give us a scenario where you're moving along, you're feeling good, you're managing your energy, you're not just in step 3, you're so good at it because you want to feel good that you're commonly in step 3, which means you have mastery of step 3. So it's really unusual when you feel negative emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And since it's unusual when you feel negative emotion, it means the negative emotion is telling you what? What does negative emotion, especially, it'll be easier to answer this when you think about a rare moment of negative emotion. A rare moment of negative emotion, what's it telling you?
what I desire.
So it's pointing out to you, this rare negative emotion, that your desire has done what? It's expanded into a new place that you have not had an opportunity to practice yourself into steadiness about.
Yes.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
So, and you certainly want to practice yourself into steadiness about it, because otherwise you can't close the gap. You can't fulfill this new desire that the contrast has given to you. Did you hear that? That's really an important thing to understand. So if I'm used to feeling pretty good, so I'm in step 3 and in step 4 and in step 4 and in step 4 and in step 3 and 4 and 3 and 4, feeling good, feeling mostly good, and then bam, something hits me and it hits me hard. What does that mean? That means I gave birth to a desire that is new, that I'm not used to being up to speed with, and my emotion is telling me I have an opportunity to figure out what my inner being is thinking about it, that clearly I am not thinking about it.
Yes.
And do you know what it is 99 times out of 100? I don't have it yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's usually all that it is. Something that I want, I don't have it yet.
And I can feel that because the clarity, it's new clarity, it's a new expansion. I'm getting what I want, and then I want something more that I haven't wanted yet. So I haven't practiced that steady focusing, and that's what I want to talk about, is the bridging.
One day, Esther was dusting an etagere that had many beautiful things that Jerry and Esther had gathered up from a lot of different places. And it was a glass shelf, and the glass shelves were sitting on little pegs. And Esther didn't realize that she had dusted it, and it had moved, and it was about to drop off the peg. And so she put her dust cloth on this top shelf very lightly, and it was the last straw, so to speak, and the shelf gave way, and everything on that shelf broke, and it broke everything on the shelf below and the shelf below. In other words, it was a cascading breaking of things. And so certainly what you could call a step one moment, because beautiful things that they'd gathered from here and there and everywhere were now glass pieces all in a pile on the floor. And Jerry came, he heard the crash, and he said to Esther, stand still, because he knew her feet would be bare, and he didn't want her to tromp through the glass in a panic. And he said, stand still. And he came in, and he saw it, and he laughed, and he said, oh, good, something to want. Oh, good, something to want. Something to buy, something to want. And this is the way we want you to feel about that, so you're aware that you're not where you really want to be. In other words, you didn't mean to feel this way, but no worries, because out of it is born something that is so worth having had the experience, which makes us really want to say to you that your inner being often calls you through those experiences that you think you don't want to live, because they are important to the accomplishing of what you really do want to live. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, and I know you talk about this all the time. You've truly answered everything, so I'm really just up here for the fun of it. But I know that you do speak directly to the person in the chair as well
Yes.
as everyone in the room.
Yes?
I want to talk about the bridging process, because I get the going general. I want to experience more of the getting specific.
But you see, now, in some ways, you're doing what we were teasing you all about doing earlier, which is I'm just going to try to dig in and make it happen fast. Is it not enough for you that the fact that you're in step 5, which means you're back in a contrasting moment, isn't the fact that the contrasting moment has put more into the vortex, isn't that some satisfaction to you?
That is.
And do you trust the process?
I do trust the
And do you
process.
believe that your inner being is tending to it?
Absolutely.
And do you believe that it's inevitable that you will receive it?
Yes.
And do you know that you will receive it when you're ready to receive it?
I do.
And do you think that hammering that you're not ready now is going to make it come faster?
So the bridging process,
So the bridging process is letting it go. The bridging process, the bridging process is not making a big deal out of it. The bridging process is saying the negative emotion that I'm feeling means that I have a different point of view than my inner being. Inner being, I'm looking forward to knowing what your point of view is, but clearly I can't hear it now because I'm having a step 1 moment. But I'm not mad at myself for having a step 1 moment, because I know the value of the contrast, and I know the value of what I put into the vortex, and I know that now it's over there, that it's in a better place, and I know that I've expanded, and I know that it's inevitable, and I know that I know, oh, I feel a lot better. What was that? Oh, yeah, now I get that.
so trust.
That's the bridging process.
Trusting.
The important part of step 5 is the not being mad at yourself part.
Okay.
The important part of step 5 is being in step 1 and not being mad at yourself. And that's the emphasis that you want to put there. Esther finds herself laughing about it often. Oh, here I am. Here I am. Is anybody looking? Don't look. Don't look. Here I am. Here I am. But isn't it worth a little bit of contrast to have expansion? You said it was when you decided to be born. Not one of you said, I don't want to go. Not one of you said, I'll go, but get the contrast all out of the way, and then I'll just go and just enjoy what has been created, but I will create no more, because you knew the endedness of that. You were eager for the new thought. Don't you really? Do you know what we mean? Have you experienced, do you think you've experienced what you think we might be referring to when we talk about that sweet spot of creation? That run you get on where it feels to you like all things are opening for you. Like you just know things, and you're just in the right place at the right time, and you just feel good, and you look out into the world and it looks good, and you rendezvous with people that feel good, and you have conversations that surprise and delight you, and you just feel blessed, and the new idea just keeps coming, and you don't feel any lack about what's yet to come. Instead, you feel awareness of what's happening now and appreciation for it. Are you so human that you want it to just get over with? Or can you embrace with us the powerful deliciousness of eternalness? Don't you like knowing that you are eternal, and that means you can get on this run of manifestation, on this run of inspiration that will just carry you from blissful moment to blissful moment to blissful moment? Don't you just want that to go on forever? Can you wrap your thoughts around the emotional state of feeling satisfied and contentment, to feeling fun and fulfilled, to feeling interested, to feeling whole, to feeling worthy, to feeling appreciation, to feeling exhilaration, to feeling passion, to feeling satisfied, to feeling interested, to feeling love, to feeling certainty, to feeling understanding, feeling knowing? In other words, just moving through life, and that's your range of emotions. Oh, I know that. Oh, I understand that. Oh, I really like that. Ooh, I'm savoring that. In other words, that's who you are. That's what you've come for. That's what that sweet spot is. And then occasionally dipping into something that doesn't feel near as good as any of that, and then just saying, oh good, I'm still around, I'm still alive, I'm still adding to my vortex, I'm still growing, I'm still expanding, I'm still becoming, I'm still learning, I'm still understanding. Do you know that when you understand what you've come to understand in large part from the words that we've been offering here today, that the step 1 moments will turn to step 5 moments for you? You'll be less self-critical and less critical of others, more understanding of how things are matching up, not trying to ask perfection from others, just letting them be who they are and letting law of attraction take them where they match. In other words, no longer assuming responsibility. We're not wanting you to feel responsible for everything that's around you. We just want you to be happy. We're not asking you to figure it all out at once. We're just asking you to figure out what's here now, and just figure out, is there a way I can think about that feels better? And if there isn't, then detach from it in any way you can, through sleeping, through meditation, through taking a walk, sometimes through changing a subject. In other words, it's our knowing. You see, because we know who you are, and it's not just knowing who you were when you came into this physical body. We're not going back to that pure essence of who you were coming in. We're not looking back. We're looking at the vortex version of you that you have accomplished since you've been here. It's the expanded version of you that we know so well that you often don't know. You don't know the expanded version of you because you know the version of you that created the expansion, but you don't know the expanded version of you till you love your dog for a minute. And then in that moment, you get glimpses of who you really are. That person of ease, that person of knowing, that person of love, that person of satisfaction. And then as you maintain that just a little bit, then more of the things that have been in your vortex surprise and delight you in a variety of ways, and causing you to feel more understanding and more worthiness and more certainty of the goodness of who you are. That's the cycle of life that you have come here to live. You didn't come to struggle, and you didn't come to suffer, and you didn't come to prove worthiness, and you didn't come to put anybody else on the spot either. You didn't come to measure what's going on and to sort out the better and the less good. You came for your personal satisfaction at taking your life to the place that it will go easily, and then allowing yourself to live it as you put it there. And that cycle of contrast and creation and allowing, and contrast and creation and allowing, will keep you happy all of the days of your life. And it is our desire that through the clarity of your example, others figure it out too. That's why the beasts of your planet are here. They are energy balancers. They are pure essence of pure positive energy. As you domesticate them, they begin to act a bit like you. But for the most part, they tune in, they don't hold grudges, they don't worry about things, they don't fret, they take lots of naps. They connect with who they are. They're in the receptive mode mostly. They're in the replenishing mode mostly. They're not fretting about things. They don't try to hang around. They don't get all worried about what's coming next, so they cling to their bodies longer than they meant to. In other words, they're just pure positive energy, having the time of their lives and standing as examples that you might do the same. It's always exhilarating for us to be with you in your physical form. And it's especially delightful for us when we find a combination of so many people from so many places and so many different experiences, desires, beliefs, and expectations. In other words, our favorite mix of humans has happened here today. Now, see there how full of yourselves you are? That's such an indication of your alignment. You were reveling as your inner beings are reveling in the perfection of that which is you, individually and collectively. Capture that feeling as you were applauding, and try to remember it for a little while, because that is the true essence of who you are. Such pride in yourselves and appreciation for where you stand, and acknowledgement of the others who surround you, even in their differences. It is a perfect mindset for everything that you've asked for and everything that you've intended as you decided to come into these bodies. We have the thrilling honor of knowing your true beingness, of knowing you and your vortex content. And we feel appreciation of the life that put you there, while we give no attention to whatever it was that put you there. So since we stand never in justification of any of the amazing things that you've created, it's easy for us to know your becoming. And we're flowing it to you all day, every day. Just listen for the glimpses. Listen for the glimpses. Listen for them. Listen for them. Watch for them. Feel for them. And when you find them, milk them. Talk to yourself about it. I felt so good about this. Oh, this was a thought that I loved so much. Oh, I saw that and I liked it. Oh, I talked to this person and it was so delicious. I ate this and I liked it so much. My bed is so good. I feel so happy. In other words, just keep milking the moment that feels good to you. And then watch with, not amazement anymore, with steady knowledge that you've put yourself on this path of deliberate creation. And now, there is nothing that you cannot be or do or have. You don't need to scrounge around for new desires. Your desires are vivid and full. This is the time of you allowing the desires that you have put there. We offer our assistance in this way. Your emotions are heightened right now because of your willingness to listen with us for these hours, which means your sensitivity to your own guidance system is at a new, supreme sensitivity. So, in the emotions that follow this gathering, as you feel them, acknowledge them and ask yourself this question. Is this emotion that I'm feeling the emotion that my inner being is feeling right now? And there is a high likelihood that you will be so vibrationally on the same wavelength as your inner being that your set point will move dramatically from this day to the next, which means your point of attraction will have shifted, which means everyone you know will have a different relationship with you because you have a different relationship with your inner being. So our expectation for you is you're going to have many aha moments. Relationships that have been troubling will be less so. Relationships that are still troubling will move out of your experience. Things that matter to you a lot will come closer. Things that you have been bothered about will move further from your experience. In other words, a lot of really good energy shifting has taken place here today. We are appreciative of the part that you play in this masterful life experience that we are all co-creating together. We speak as advocates from the non-physical realm, understanding the value of what you are doing and understanding the difficulty sometimes of dealing with the contrast that you live with. But it is our promise to you that in terms of poop to value, there is always value in the contrast, no matter how it feels to you in the moment. There is great love here for you. And always we remain joyously in your vortex.